Hey beautifuls, Hannah here from Reality Awareness. I'm wondering and questioning if I should be live streaming. I've been trying to go live for hours, and some people call them distractions, some people call them interruptions. I call them life, and I've been feeling pretty good, and then I just had a whole wave of grief hit me before, and now I'm even feeling angry, and I'm like, are you sure you want to go live, Hannah? I don't know about you going live right now. It's like, are you sure you're gonna go live? Yes, I'm still gonna freaking go live. So, because I've got a message and I want to share this stuff, and I'm being called to do psychic readings for what reason, I'm not really sure. So I'm live, and I'm pretty freaking heartbroken at the same time. And I will be honest and say that this live stream is about me, of course, because it's my page, right? But I'm, what's the word? Selfishly doing psychic readings on this call because I need to remember who I am. And that might sound a little bit weird, but I kept getting the message to go do psychic readings, And it's been, well, that message's been there for a little bit, but now I understand why and how, and it's just, it supports me more or something. In a sense of me remembering who I am, because humanity needs me, and I dropped the ball, right? I fully dropped the ball. Slovenia and light to you? Do you mean of a night? Hey Sarah, Glenn. So a few of you joining live, say hi when you're here. So I've got a little bit of grief in my heart, and I know that there's huge friggin' stuff starting to really amp up in the world. And I'm like, well, this is what was predicted all the way back at the end of last year. So this stuff, and we've got the eclipses coming up, that's gonna be even it's gonna be more rattling. It's gonna be a big month. It's already started as a big month, right? Who else has had a big start? It's not even it's the start of the month and it's oh my goodness, right? It's huge. So Kelly says, hiya, I hope you are being the light. Can you please explain? Tell me what you mean by that comment. I wanna, let's unpick that. What do you mean? I hope you are being the light. What does that mean? Please tell me. Oh, it's Keith. Sorry, my eyes from back here. That's really bad. Do I need glasses already? No, I think I've just been crying all freaking day. It started in 2001. Yeah, it started ages ago. No, did start a long time ago for sure. All right, I'm just sharing this, and then I'm going to be present with you guys. And as I said, I've got some things to share, but also want to do psychic readings, and I want to speak about that mask that you guys saw in the teacup, right? The it was mask, alien. People saw a couple, woman with a hat, all sorts of things in it, right? It was so cool. And it wasn't even my teacup, by the way. It was my daughter's. So it's kind of interesting, right? All right, so this isn't letting me share this, so let me just jump on here and share this. This is a bit weird. I'll let it share. Oh, it's kind of normal actually. Not sharing from there. Okay. So you guys prepared for this eclipse or what? Because, oh my goodness, eclipses that start this weekend. All right, sweet. Yay, let me share it straight away. Okay, sweet. Turn that off. Okay, channel the light from within, seeking the you within all of this. Yeah, I don't think I've spoken to you before, Keith. I'm curious, yeah, how long you've been following me or something, because obviously you don't know who I am. If you have to ask me and make sure I'm sharing that sort of stuff. So I don't know, I'm I don't think you know who I am, do you? Curious how long you've been following me. you're on my page, on my live stream. All right, so can you tell I'm a little bit unsettled or something? I'm like, because I was feeling really good today, and then I'm like, sweet, time to get ready to go live, and then I just got hit with another wave of grief, and I'm like, well, I don't know about this, and I don't know about this hot fire here either. I'm like, cool, I'm freezing, let's light the fire, and now I sit here and I get really hot, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work on live stream, Hannah. Hopefully the phone doesn't overheat. Okay, I'm just going to like lower this down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. All right, cool, because I'm going to do some card readings, but first of all, I really want to talk about the mask and this humanity needs me. And I dropped the ball, and I'm so freaking sorry. So it's been a while since I've been here. I had a fair bit to do. Okay, thanks for sharing, Keith, because yeah, I don't think I've ever spoken to you before. Not that I'm aware of, unless you've got a different name or something. Hey, Kayleen. Hey, Brett. Good to see me live. Yeah. I feel like this is part of me dropping the ball. And it's like, I'm like, where did I go? Everyone's like, Hannah, you were in fairyland. I'm like, I know I was, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's just been quite freaking interesting. But I didn't even realize that I dropped the ball. Like, I forgot who I am, and like I said, there's a selfish part of me doing psychic readings on this live stream tonight because I need to remember who I am. I need to remember my gift, and I need to remember what I do. Now, I know this stuff, right? But I think that I feel deeply, and when people close to you say really hurtful things to you, it destroys me. It breaks my heart, and I forget who I am, and then I step into these roles and I forget who I am even more. I put these masks on and I forget who I am. So those of you in that teacup, yes, it was my daughter's, and it was actually bone broth. We'd had bone broth, and that's, you know, people were like, oh my God, what's all that stuff at the bottom? So it was all the herbs at the bottom of the bone broth, right? And I was putting the dishes in the dishwasher, and I was like, how fucking clear is that? Like, it was insane. I'm like, whose cup was this? And I'm like, oh my God, it was Adea's, right? It was quite amazing. And when, you know, like when I, you know, straight away I saw an alien, which for me are the star beings, and, you know, the star beings have been really, really strong for me for quite some time, since August 2018, actually. No, it's kind of before then. That's when the star being guide meditation channeled through, and it's very, very powerful. And to work with those, I say celestial, is that the right word? I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't even know if celestial is the right word for them. And so, yeah, and I was like, I knew it was a star being straight away. But then when I read people's comments, and it was like the mask is being taken off, or taking the mask off or something. And I was like, you know what? Like, that day is when I decided that I was going to do my 21-day like cleanse, fast, extreme detox, which starts today, by the way. And I'm curious if you guys have been feeling to do a detox or something, because then I saw like on Wim Hof's like feed come up in my Instagram stuff, and he was saying like he's doing a 21-day fast challenge thing today. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of like the timing, right? Must be in the collective pretty strongly, because I know there's a few of you that have been feeling that pull as well. So I was like, I really need a glass of wine to sit here and do this live stream tonight, but I'm like, but I freaking committed to doing my 21-day detox, so I'm not having a glass of wine tonight. That's okay. So I'm still here anyway. I could have made a green juice, but hey, I'm all good with water. So Brett says, and no, you didn't drop the ball. You went away and seeked clarification stronger than ever. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I dropped the ball, and it's interesting because that entire time, like, I guess, you know, like just reflecting on it, like I feel like I lost myself, and people were like, well, duh, Hannah, like, you know, it's like, well, and I feel like I don't want to beat myself up, because at the same time, I broke through so many patterns, you know, like the old Hannah, something comes up and I bolt, I disappear, I run away, I'm out of there, right? And this time I did something different, and I pushed through so much stuff, and I didn't make choices out of reaction. I didn't make choices out of hurt. I didn't make choices out of hurt or anger or like any of the stuff that we make a choice and then we regret it later and we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have, so maybe I better now, and we go back. And that's been my pattern. That's been my pattern of going back and back and back. Yes, this time I have been conscious in choosing all the choices and actions, but I actually never left. So it's kind of really interesting, like the way that it's been going on. Oh, kombucha, I've got kombucha in the fridge. Maybe I should get that out. I forgot about my kombucha. Right. I haven't even had coffee today. That's such a huge thing for me, right? So Brett says, I start my 21-day gratitude, empathy, mindfulness today. Oh, that sounds awesome. I haven't heard of that before. So, so it just feels like, but in that space, like I freaking dropped the ball. Like, what was I thinking? And I don't want to say this to myself, but I'm like, what was I thinking trying to run an online business off grid, like maybe for a couple of days, but not for a couple of fucking months, Hannah, like, oh my goodness, right? And I feel like I dropped the ball. Like, yeah, I was still posting and I'm definitely doing Tuesday Tarot because that's like a given. But like who I am, I forgot who I am. And part of that, and part of me wanting to do psychic readings on here tonight, which I haven't fucking done for ages, and what I used to do all the time, is to remind myself who I am. Now, I know that might sound selfish and up myself and snobbish, and if you think that of me, please get off my page. please go away from my life right now, because if there is one thing that this entire freaking experience has taught me, is my tolerance levels for copying shit in any relationship, whether it be business, personal, friendship, whatever it is, has just skyrocketed. Now, in the sense of like, the mask coming off, I realized in all my processing, the thing that I realized is that I attracted this situation because I wasn't living my truth. Now, that might sound a bit ridiculous, right? Because you might think, oh, but Hannah, now I'm getting hot sitting here. Hannah, you do live your truths. You look what you do in the world, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I've been living a shadow of my truth. And what I mean by that is that to build my online business, I sacrificed so much. Before my online business journey, which was 4 years ago now, when I started, I was buying organic, living healthfully, exercising, eating like healthy raw food, detoxing, like running all the time, surfing, like I was fit and healthy. I was like all of that. And then when I went to build online, a big part of the reason, like there's so many reasons building online, and one is to make money, because let's face it, we make money online while we sleep, and we can make money online while we're living our passion while we sleep, right? Online is 24/7. There's no sleep. Money never sleeps, right? So let's get real here. Like, I built online to make money. Of course I built online to change the world and to do all these things. But ultimately, I built online so that I could live the lifestyle without any help, or without people saying, you can't afford that, so why are you doing that? Or why are you doing this? You shouldn't do that. Go away, leave me alone and let me build this damn thing, which is what I did, right? And in that whole thing around, you can't afford it, why are you living like that, and sort of thing, that stemmed from a dater's dad, to be honest. And as much as these like things that break my heart over and over and over again, right? Like, I feel deeply and I get hurt deeply, right? As much as I love, I will hurt just as deeply. And Adaya's dad, my daughter's father, was literally the one, that had said to me, like, you can't afford to, why are you living this lifestyle when you can't afford it, and blah, blah, blah. And as hurtful as it was stark reality, like a single mum on the pension, trying to buy organic everything. And let's face it, guys, everybody knows that organic's way more expensive. And, it was like I wasn't living in reality back then about that. And so as much as it hurt me and made me angry, it started a journey of releasing a lot of things that weren't in alignment that I did take responsibility for eventually, and building online. Now, it wasn't like, oh my God, I need to build online to make money. Like, I always just had this thing like online. And if you've heard my online story about how I came to be this person online, it's always been like, you know, it was just an intuitive, natural drive to want to share my message online. Like, teaching 10 people in a workshop or a yoga class did not cut it anymore, right? I was like, I need my message to reach more people. Like 10 people once a month, just, I wasn't doing it, right? And I was like trying to like tell the world, like every person on the street, I was like trying to get my message to them and, you know, like tell them like how to fix their life and the spiritual stuff, because I know how to fix everything, right? It's just like what we do as a healer, yeah? And so in that, it was like, I needed to speak to more people. And when I found this avenue online, I'm like, oh my God, I can speak to so many people and I can scale that, right? So it was like a win-win in both situations. Now, the other piece about, you know, like the mask, right? Dropping the mask in the freaking teacup the other night, right? It was the star being, yes, it was an alien, maybe it was a demon entity, who knows? And let's get real, guys. The demon and the entity is the mask, right? Right? When we really think about what a demon and an entity and a dark spirit is, they're there to turn us towards the light. Yes, they will put a cloak on us and they will hide our true self. So those of you who saw the demon and entity, well, hello, like, you know, like this is the demon, this is the cloak, this is the entity, this is the thing that's been covering it all. And the mask, people said like taking the mask off, and I'm like, yeah, that resonates with me, because I'm about to do a 21-day detox fast. But this time it isn't about let's just do a detox and a cleanse and go back to normal lifestyle. Like, no, for me this time, this is like lifestyle change. And this whole situation of being off grid and everything that I've freaking gone through and like broken my heart and devastated me has shown me that I attracted this situation because I haven't been living my truth. What do I mean by that? In a sense that before I built this online business, I stopped, like, after a day's dad had said that to me, and that was a while ago. It took me a little while to start stepping into that, right? I stopped buying organic. I stopped, you know, like, and he'd given me a car. This is a day's dad giving me a car, like, you know, like after we'd broken up, because he wanted to make sure a day was safe and blah, blah, blah. And I accepted, but it got to a point where it was still a hook. And so I chose to give the car back, and I chose with much, you know, resistance on his end. He tried to give it back and all these other stories to make me get the car again. And I'm like, nah, like it was my tolerance shift. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And for a year, I caught a bus with my then at the time 3 to 4 year old daughter, and all the shopping and everything. Like, it was fucking hard. It was like the hardest thing of my life, right? But that was the point that I also gave up buying organic and all organic everything. And I was like, you know what, just for a time, I'm just gonna actually like live within my means and actually take responsibility for this, right? Now, I knew it wasn't forever, but I sacrificed things to be able to build things, to be able to get where I am today. And this situation that I've attracted and just been in off grid has shown me how much I haven't been living my truth, i.e. that person who I am, raw, vegan, fit, healthy, like onto it, full of energy, like all of that all the time, how I used to be, right? That I sacrificed all of that to build my online business, to put everything I had into it, to do that. Now, in the past year, right, last year, kind of hit this like wall in a sense, and it was like a plateau or something. It was like, I made it, I achieved it, I made it. You know, I've made over 200K online, or nearly 300K online, right? And in that space, it was like, okay, well, I've made money online now. You know, like in the start, it's really hard, and you're like trying to figure it out and trying to make money, trying to make ends meet and all this stuff. And then you start making money, and then it's all happening. And then all the hard work that you've been pushing and pushing and pushing has got its own momentum, and your business carries its own momentum now. And like last year, I'd hit that point. I'd have even got my car, and I was like, oh, cool. I didn't even know it was kind of happening, but I really like hit this plateau in not even, you know, I was like, oh, I've hit all my goals. So like, what now? Right? And it's interesting, yeah, because even though like I built this online business to live a lifestyle that is fit, healthy, clean living, organic, all that stuff, I hadn't moved into it yet. And this last couple of months, and the reason that I attracted this situation was to show me and wake me up to the mask that I have been living, in the fact that it was like the universe saying, hey, Hannah, you've built your business now. Yeah, you can go back to the healthy lifestyle now and still have your business. Like, are you going to do that now? Because, like, here's a wake up in the face to show you how much you're not, and it's time because the foundations are built. And I was like, oh, like, what a lesson, right? But there's more lessons, of course, right? In this whole experience. You did, Danny, caught me live, and Sian as well. So in this space, right, it's like, I hit this plateau and then attracted this situation. And if you watched my last live stream, which was last week, because it's been a while, because I've been freaking processing so much stuff and still working behind the scenes in my private groups and in Manifesting Magic. By the way, it is still, we are live in Manifesting Magic. The pre-work has been dropped. Let me just speak to this for a minute. I'm going to put the link in, because this is actually the first time I've ever taught how to build the online stuff, right? So all the tech, yeah, with this mindset, and that's really important, yes. But to be able to build online, there's systems, processes, and obviously the mindset and energetic work. And this is the first time I've ever taught how to build a course online, how to build your magic online, how to share your intuitive gift as an intuitive healer online, right? So the pre-work we actually start technically this coming Thursday, so there's still time to get in, so you can click on the link there for more details. But I feel like this is a really big piece for me as well, because being the first time that I've actually taught the technical systems and structures online, it feels like I'm like birthing the next level me. Like, it's like, this is what I've done to get here so far, and now like I can just feel once I earth this one, poof, like take off time or something. I don't know how to describe it, right? So I'm glowing. Well, it's the first day on Raw Vegan. I haven't even had a coffee today, and I didn't even think about coffee. Well, I did think about coffee, let's face it, right? But it wasn't like, oh my God, I really need a coffee and I can't have one. It wasn't even that. It was just like, and maybe because I've been mentally preparing for this like 21 day fast detox, but it's more that this is the start of a lifestyle change. So it's 21 days of like extreme detox. I've ordered an enema kit because I'm grounded here for a bit and can get that happening and do like full extreme detox stuff. So what was I going to say about that? Oh yes, and this is like the start of the lifestyle change. Yeah, like this is, because if anyone's done a detox before, you know how freaking hard it can be, okay? Right, we crave stuff, we have all these emotions come up, like it's hard, man, to do like a detox. And so it's hard, and to clean out and to get clean and then to just eat crap again and like be like, I'm not doing that again, right? And so this is like, this 21 days is the start of me going back to the Hannah that I always used to be. So it's kind of interesting, and not used to be, the fit and healthy Hannah that I used to be, the eating organic and the real, like, you know, all of that, all of what I sacrifice to build this online business, yeah? And not even that, it was like to take responsibility, because Dave's dad was saying like, you're living beyond your means, and why are you buying organic, and you can't afford it, and blah blah blah, and he like kept saying it, and I'm like, well, Hannah, are you actually going to look at this? A bit like the experience with Lucas I've just been with. He's like, he's saying this stuff to me. I'm like, are you actually going to look at this and look at the big lifestyle change that happened when Dave's dad said that to me? Look where it's ended up now. So I'm only imagining what this whole situation with Lucas and him telling me that I'm controlling, and me actually looking at that and the shifts that I've had. If you didn't watch that live stream last week, go and watch that to understand what I'm talking about. And so it's just like, okay, now it doesn't mean that my heart's not fucking broken. Like, I was in like paralyzed grief all day yesterday and pretty good today, probably because I let myself have that day yesterday and the day before, and it's been going on a little bit. So it's quite, it doesn't mean that I'm not hurting. Nope. But it also means that I think I'm upset and angry. I dropped the ball, and people are like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, well, I feel like I did to an extent. Because we know when we're building something or we're doing something, we know when there's work to do, and we know when we're not doing the work we know we need to be. Yeah? We know when we're not doing the work. We know when we are doing the work, and we know when we're not doing the work. We all do. Yeah. I know I'm only human and blah, 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 but it's a thing, right? Oh my God, it gets so hot sitting next to the fire. I had my like thick jumper on and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get so hot. So anyway, the mask that has come off. Now, the reason that I want to do, I know, and now I'm ready to change, right? Because some people might think, well, you should have left earlier, or why didn't you leave earlier, or blah, blah, blah. And like, the reality is I didn't feel like my intuition was telling me to. And maybe I'm not seeing that or something. At the same time, like, I really do believe that, because I was pushing through patterns. And then the other piece to that is that when it was time to leave, the signs were there. So I guess the piece is why I want to do psychic readings on this live stream is because in the 3rd week that I was there, I was ripped to shreds by another woman on the property there. And yeah, thanks, Pauline. Service through sacrifice is a real thing, Hannah. It's all in divine time. Yes. Yeah, it's a big one, that. The sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to give up? People are like, we shouldn't sacrifice anything. And it's like, well, sacrifice a clean house to get your work, the real work done. Sacrifice, like, I don't know, whatever. It's a thing, right? So anyway, I'm through all this process, and the reason I want to do psychic readings is, to be blatantly honest, my confidence has dropped all the way down there. Like, I've been doubting myself, questioning what I'm doing, why am I doing it, like the whole thing. And I know at the same time, there's a big recalibration piece from last year and hitting all those goals of like pushing for 3 years and then making it online. And this now being my reality that I was dreaming about for so long. And here I am in country Victoria with a car that I can just get in the drive and do what I want and, all that sort of thing. It's like, well, so now what? And I know that all of this is a big recalibration piece, and it's kind of like the universe forcing me to go, hey, Hannah, you need to take off the mask now. Now you need to get fit and healthy again and actually like live to your full potential, because I know I attracted that situation because it wasn't full potential. It could have been, it had potential, but it wasn't fully there yet because I wasn't also there yet. I wasn't living my full potential. And now this 21-day shift is the like detox to move into that for life. Because when I was like in that, when a day I was 3 to 4, so a few years back, I was like fully into raw vegan. Like I did so many detoxes. I had so much energy. Like it was the best I ever felt. And I was like raw vegan for life. Like you have to be raw vegan for life. And I was promoting that and everything. And then everything happened and sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. Here I am today. Universe waking me up going, okay, you can do that now. I'm like, okay, that's the next step. Cool. Got it. Right. So the other piece is that, yes, my confidence has been knocked, and the confidence been knocked. I've been doubting my abilities, doubting and questioning myself, doubting my intuition, doubting all sorts of freaking things, because when you have been building and living a reality that for the past 3 to 4 years, you get up at 5 a.m. religiously, no matter how tired you are, no matter what time you went to bed, no matter what you feel, no matter blah, blah, blah. When you religiously get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, when you get up at like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. to listen to your mentor's training call because she's on the other side of the world and that's the time that it's scheduled. Like when you do that religiously and that just becomes your life and your reality and your everyday norm for the past like 3 to 4 years, right? And then you like, arrive in a new environment, and then you just get up at 5 a.m. and you have to like get in your car this time, not just like get in your pajamas and like make a coffee and then like go and sit in your office. No, you actually have to get in your car and then like drive like a few kilometers and drive up a hill into a state forest and sit in a state forest in the dark so that you can receive reception on your phone so that you can continue your work, because you don't even think twice about it. Because that's just what you do. and you are willing to do whatever you do to make it happen and make it work, because that's what you do, right? Any entrepreneur will resonate with that. Anyone else will think you're freaking crazy. So when I was just living my life, and because I had to do what I did and to receive reception and service to continue building my online business or continue running my business or just living my life, doing that, not thinking anything of it. And for 3 weeks, you're just in your flow and doing your thing and everything's fine. And then all of a sudden you get called a witch for waking up at 5 a.m. Now I don't mind a witch. I'm a witch, I'm a demon, I'm an entity, I'm an angel, I'm a goddess. I'm all of it, because you know why? Because there ain't no freaking labels. I'm Hannah. That's who I am. My soul, and I'm all pieces in between and everything in the universe, because I'm a multifaceted being who can be anything at any time. And I have all of these parts of me because I am the light and the dark and every single vibration and aspect in between. So when you get called a witch out of vain and questioned why you were going up at 5 a.m. before sunrise, and I'm like, wow, I'm just working. And then all this stuff comes out and telling you how bad you are and that I'm a fraud and all these sort of things. It pretty fucking struck me down, and that was 3 weeks in, and maybe I should have left then. But maybe I felt supported by the man in the space. For the first time, I'd ever been supported when something like that has happened. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need to stay. Maybe I need to, like, you know what I mean? And this is the thing where I've like grown and pushed through so much. And I'm like, well, if I was meant to go, I would have got the intuition. And I'm just like, anyway. Oh my God, I'm sweating sitting here. Anyone would think I'm like in Queensland sweating. It's the fire. I can't really turn the fire down. Oh, I can. Oh my God, I forgot that I can. I forgot I can turn it down. That really changes the heat level, but anyway. All right. So anyway, and I just want to point out, like, this was like nearly 2 months ago. It would have been 2 months ago. And I've been processing and doing my inner work and blah, blah, blah. So I've been doing all that. Definitely been doing the inner work. All right. The other piece to it, though, is that I'm still in a very vulnerable place with my gifts and my abilities, and I've forgotten who I am, and I feel like I dropped the ball for humanity at the most time that humanity really fucking needs me. It's like, oh, what's that for, Hannah? But again, what this has taught me is that my tolerance levels and my boundaries are now so freaking strong and even higher than I ever thought could possibly be, that needed to happen for this next leg of whatever is about to land in my lap, right? That I'm calling in and creating, yeah? Hey, Tamsin. Yes, it's a process. You got it. We cannot all have it all at once and right now. Kind of can. Anna says, I feel you. Yeah, there's also broken hearts going on around at the moment. It's a bit intense, right? And that's the thing, you know, like I don't mind being called a witch, a priestess, a goddess, whatever. But when you say something to me and I feel the energy behind your words and it's nasty and it feels like you're throwing a spear or an axe at my face, that's different. That's different. Okay, so Pauline says, you know that, Hannah Andrews, you teach grounding down that concept in itself. It's so important. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, thank you. I love you. Hey, Raven. Thank you. We know who you are, Hannah, and we love you. Yeah, I know. It just makes me wonder why like, you know, I guess this whole thing around trying to, what is it? My process in my grief. I've been questioning myself. I'm like, why am I here? Why am I, what the fuck was that all about? Like, it's a normal process to go through when you're grieving, right? So Raven says, I feel so lost and not myself. I don't know or what to do with my gifts. So do you currently teach your gifts online or anything like that, Raven? You can just let me know. Brian says, yes, just push. Sometimes it gets hard with any work. Fucking knows it does. It's always that. Well, it's some good days and some bad, that's right. It's like sometimes it is hard. So Raymond says, I need guidance or even just some words of encouragement. Yes. So Pauline says, witches were just smart women that threaten the hierarchy. Yeah. Yeah. But what it also is that when people project and when people that they're, I triggered them. I triggered the fact that I was creating business. I triggered the fact that I was using my gift and sharing my message with the world. I triggered the fact that I followed my dreams. I think that I trigger a lot of people close to me because I actually followed my dreams and made it reality. I remember an auntie once saying to me in the early stages of me building online, she's like, you can't just follow your dreams. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, I wanted to just have horses and live on a farm or something like that. I can't remember at the time. Something like that. And I'm like, in myself, I'm like, why the fuck didn't you do that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's like, anyway, some people just make it happen and others just think that it can't, and so it can't. So lost right now. Okay, so Anna says, Raven, same here, so lost right now. Elaine says, nursing a broken heart too. I'm so sorry you're feeling that. Okay, all right. I was really nervous to talk about all this online. It took me, asked my daughter, it was probably about an hour and a half of like me preparing and whatever. I don't know. I haven't done that for ages, maybe because I don't know. I'm taking the mask off and I'm back. Look, day one of my detox, and look, I'm already coming back. So I just want to say about these broken hearts and stuff, like, and I'm curious for you guys, you don't have to share, of course, like when it happened for you, because all this stuff happened sort of Friday night for me, and then Saturday and then Sunday was like final freaking things, and I've been struggling with it, to be honest, because I do, that's just, I struggle with a breakup. It's fucking hard. And of course all the doubts and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the point is that then I was talking to clients last night, and similar sort of thread theme, lots of stuff, couldn't sleep, blah, 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 on Friday night, like on that Friday, Saturday. And apparently there was a big solar flare, like the biggest solar flare that you could have ever, I don't know, ever recorded or something like that. Now, solar flares are like a huge, like, burst of, like, if you can imagine a big flame coming off the sun and hitting our earth, right, and going through our field. Now, the sun, it affects our magnetic field, so it's like this big fireball basically coming through your magnetic field, makes you tired, can't sleep, agitated, third eye pain, physical aches and body pain, like questioning and doubting everything, but also huge insight and intuition because it's like coming through your field. So yeah, so just that was going on as well, and I kind of wish I'd known that beforehand, but it didn't happen for a reason, I guess, and yeah, what needed to happen still happened, I guess. So anyway, I guess the point I want to say as well is that Venus, I think, is still retrograde, so there's a lot of relationship breakups, there's a lot of old relationships, there's a lot of old patterns and everything clearing out at the moment. So Danny says, I didn't honor myself fully until I made the decision to leave my last relationship, then boom. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Danny says, yeah, words cut deep. Yeah, honestly, fuck man, like, there's more, of course, as you guys know, and a relationship's been like that. So Keith says, it's been quite a traumatic time for me too the past 6 months. I feel you. Yes, it's been huge, right? Yes, a lot of me too's. So Raven says, I've been told that I'm awakening. So, oh, there's more comments. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go through these comments. Keep talking, right? Okay. Girl, people are going to judge. Let them. Triggers are hard to get through. You're a beautiful person. Yeah. And so just on that, like, reconfiguring your energetic codes. Yes, I am, Sammy. It's like when I got to this house, and I don't know if you guys saw on my story, but I got out of the bath and out of the shower, and the mirror had fogged up. But it fogged up, but it looked like a big power board. Not a power board, a motherboard in a computer. I don't know the right word of it. You know those greens, like technical things in like the motherboard thing. I don't know what they're called. And it looked like that on the mirror, and I'm like, oh my God, talk about like upgrading the codes. Yes, people are going to judge, let them. Triggers are hard to get through. I've been pretty good with stuff like that. In the start of my online business was really, really hard. And then just being in this situation, it was like, wow, like this is why I walked away from people, like so many people in my life because of this shit. And this was part of the breaking patterns thing where I was like, well, you're going to run, Hannah, you're going to leave. Because so many times I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to leave, you know, but it was like, my intuition was telling me not to leave. But my head and all the patterns and all the past stuff was like, leave. My intuition was like, stay put. Like, do you know what I mean? It was so interesting. And so I was breaking all these patterns, and even like having communications, you know, with her, like trying to come to an understanding and agreement because we're all living on the property. And it's like, well, you know, like there wasn't any like give on the other side. It was just da da da. And I was just like, okay, like just going around in circles and just trying to come to an agreement. So, but anyway, the piece about that is that I knew in that moment that I was consciously breaking patterns of running and blaming and all of that, and I sat there and could be fully present with holding space with the whole damn thing. It was so freaking hard and it hurt still, and yes, I lost it at times, but at the same time I was like breaking patterns that, yeah, I've broken so many patterns. Doesn't make it any freaking easier right now with the grief and everything I've been through. I might seem all right now, but I was bawling my eyes out just before this live stream because I was like, had a good day today, because maybe I was like grieving all freaking day yesterday. And then I'm like, okay, cool, get ready for a live stream. And then all of a sudden I was just like, woof, another wave of grief. And I was like, am I really like, why am I going on live stream right now? Like, why? Why am I getting ready to go on live stream? You want to talk about the mask, you want to talk about demons and entities. Like demons and entities and any darkness is just there to distract you from your purpose work. You either let them or you can push through and do it anyway. And look, here I am. So, all right, so Raven says, since then, nothing is the same. Yes, okay. So number one, Raven, have you seen my page on my website supporting your spiritual awakening? Maybe you've already seen it, but that's one thing that you can start with, going through all the pieces on that page. So let me just, okay, so I'm just going to actually put the link directly in the comment to your, when you'd said that. So yeah, I'd start there definitely. Derek says you're correct. Yes. Okay. Pauline says be proud of it. You're helping people, not hurting them. You lift us up. There's no crime in that. Yeah. Do you know what? This entire experience, I've been a new Hannah in a sense of like, I would have lost my shit. I did at times actually. When I got pushed enough, I fucking lost it still, definitely, but I didn't put them down. I didn't, you know, like call them names. I didn't do that shit, whereas in the past I would have, but I didn't do that. Of course I lost it because I was fucking hurt, and I was like, how can you say shit like that? Not just that, it was other things, of course. So Danny says, I trigger friends with what I say, then they don't speak to me again. Yes, I know that feeling. It's not even anything bad I say, just my me having an opinion. Yes, yep, I know. Tamsin says, I had a dream the night before last and woke up and all I said was, I haven't got a dad, I haven't got a dad. I can't remember completely what happened in it, but I feel like the last few days I've done mass masculine healing. Okay, funny thing about that. Thank you for sharing that, Tamsin, because the other big piece that I've pulled out of this experience, right, is healing the masculine, healing the masculine, healing the masculine, healing the masculine. It's all I focused on, right? And then after this experience, what I realized, and I shared it with my mentor yesterday, I was like, dawned on me maybe, I don't know, a couple of days ago, I was like, oh, I've done so much work on healing the masculine. A lot. Now, looking at this past experience I've gone through, you might think, well, no, you haven't, Hannah. But I kind of feel like I've done a lot of work. Now, I don't feel like it's finished or it's complete, because ultimately, you know, we're never finished on that sort of work, right? But what I realized is I'm like, oh, I need to work on healing the feminine. Now, I've done that before with inner child, inner mother, triple goddess, like done a lot of that, right? But with this sense here, I'm like, it's time to heal the feminine. Like, why do I attract these men whose mothers hate me, who rip shit into me, who push me away? Like, what is with this? Like, hang on a sec. There's something here with the feminine, right? What is with that? And so, hence, me realizing that it's not that I need to stop healing the masculine, like, it's not what it's about, but it's time to heal the feminine. It's time to heal the part of me that receives. Yeah? So, I don't know what that looks like yet. I only just realized it, right? And I know that I can use the meditations and stuff, but I feel like there's more, and I'm curious about it. But when you say that, Tamsin, you know, like, I feel like I've done masculine healing. I feel like we've all kind of reached the point, and maybe that's what's going on with the riots and all the stuff in the world, that we're kind of at this point where we can't be controlled anymore, because this is the collapse of the patriarchal, right? Can't be controlled anymore. What was the whole fucking theme in my past experience in the past 2 months? You're controlling me, you're controlling me, you're controlling me. And I'm like, fuck man, I'm just trying to no. Yes, no, right? Last live stream, if you haven't watched that, right? Go and watch that. So in that whole collapse of the patriarchal, like, it's not that like the feminine's rising and it's like overtaking. No, it's coming into balance. But if the patriarchal has collapsed to the balance now, for example, then it's time for the feminine to heal from this, not just the collapse, but from the masculine, the patriarchal being like this for that long. And it feels like energetically and on a collective level, that's what's happened. Does that make sense? Right? That makes total sense to me, actually. So, yes. So, yeah, it's interesting how to dream about that. I'm curious how you resonate with that. So, Brian says, meditate for 30 days at night to help you get through your pain. I would rather bawl my eyes out, because that's the fastest way for me to grieve and heal, which is what I did yesterday. If you saw my story, I lit the fire in the bedroom, because there's an open fireplace in the bedroom. I freaking love it. And I bawled my eyes out. But it's not the first time I've done that either. So it's been a lot of grief the past week, actually. So Raymond says, people drawn to me, I can pick up spirits, I can read people, I have odd dreams. Yep, awesome. Sounds like you're ready to fine tune your gift, and I'm curious what your next steps are with that, Raven. So Tamsin says, I have not been here, neither, been off somewhere. God knows, a lot of subconscious shit been playing out. It has, hasn't it? Oh my God, that's what I feel like, and that's the thing where I'm pretty sure I said it like several times, like where I was off grid out in the forest and the mushrooms and all the stuff that was coming up, like it was just like, I'm in fairy realm, and even the mist and everything, it was like I'm in fairy realm. And when I say fairy realm, I don't mean Fairy, I mean Faery, like fairy, like fairy, not fairy, like dragon. Oh, it's like the dragon fae. I thought I had the like dragon fae, like the fairy, like the fairy. So it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the realm outside of consciousness. Some people call it limbo. Some people get called in the scramble we never come back from. That's where I was, and I kept getting that message, and I kept getting the point of like I felt like I kept getting that message, you're in fairy realm, but you're in the subconscious. Like it was just like pure subconscious or something. It was kind of intense at times. A lot of the fucking time, actually. Anyway, I'm back now. Tammy said, it's an 18-month cycle. Yes, this was happening at the end of 2018, 2019. Yes, it was for like 2 months, right? So interesting. And I've already been saying to myself, I'm like, right, Hannah, mark it in your iPhone calendar now, the 18 months from this time, because it's going to freaking like be another wave of it again. Like, did you hear that, guys? Are you putting that in your calendar now? Because it's a thing. All right, Keith says the people that judge are the ones that have a problem. He who cast the first stone and all that. Yes, he who cast the first spell. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Literally everyone is drawn to me and it's getting more and more intense. Yes, Raven, because you are a light worker and a ancient blooded healer, or you would not be here watching my live stream in this space. And this is where, yeah, this is what I help people with. This is what I help light workers and healers and people who are spiritually awakening about how to set boundaries, even with our energetic work, or just with people coming to us and stuff like that, because it gets really freaking intense, right? And we don't know what to do and we don't know how to do it. And these are all the things that I help people with, right? Whether you want to turn it into a business and work online or not, it's kind of relevant to the point of like, how do we actually use and fine tune our gifts, right? So Kaza says, we love you, share your light. Thank you for sharing your special gifts with us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like I dulled myself because I needed to fit in. It's kind of interesting I even did all that, right? Yeah, thanks, Carrie. Even someone said to me, they're like, I could see it in your face in your photos, you weren't the same. And I was like, oh my God, how come everyone could see it and I couldn't? I guess I could, but I was like, my intuition's not telling me to leave, but what's going on? But why does this? And it was like, I was in limbo. I was in the land of power. Yeah, I'm already starting to feel stronger, even though, of course, waves of grief come and everything like that. So, are people drawn to you? Can you see and hear things that are not there? Oh, yes. Yes, this is what we do. This is normal. I just want to point out, Raven, everyone on my page, everyone in my Reality Awareness support group, everyone in my Trust Intuition group, everyone who follows me and is at Reality Awareness, because seeing spirits, hearing things, angels, being psychic, people drawn to supernatural experiences, this is our everyday reality. Everyday, normal reality. People call us crazy. This is normal for us. That's why you're here. So I don't know how long you've been following me for, but this is why you're here. Because this is normal. And I have a purpose to teach people that it is normal and how to make that normal in mainstream society when everyone thinks that we are crazy, right? There's ways to do it without being called crazy, without doing that, you know, like without having that persona. There's ways to use your gift in reality, in mainstream, and be able to be normal. Yeah? Hey, Amy. Noreen says, well done for coming on, Hannah. Yeah, I almost didn't. And I was like, I have to. I have to. And I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, I just had a shower. I was like, clean face, ready to put makeup on and get ready. And like, and then I started bawling my eyes out crying. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? What the fuck is this? Of course I doubted and questioned it. And I was like, no, I'm not turning up for my freaking people anymore. I'm not turning up for humanity anymore. It's not, I would rather step into service and be who I am than tell myself that I need to cry some more. Now, it's not that I stopped crying because I let myself bawl. I'm like, it's okay, it's only 6:30. It was like 10 past 6 or something. And I'm like, just cry until 7. It's fine. And so I let myself cry. And then I didn't even cry that long. So that's what happens. So Raven, if you're not in our Reality Awareness support group, which where all these normal reality crazy people are, you can come in there too. Hey Jody. Tammy says, it's been quite a process of unmasking for you. Returning to how you share and teach, being more open and vulnerable. Do you know what? And that's the thing. Oh my God, because that's what happened, right? As that's probably why you said it, right? In 2018, in December 2018, I shut down. Oh my God, thank you for saying that, Tammy. I shut down sharing this level of vulnerability online, and I started this level of vulnerability again last week, right? On that live stream, you see it last week. Because I used to just share everything and be open and vulnerable and share my soul and share my heart and soul and share things that people hate me for, right? Why are you sharing that online? And you shouldn't be talking about that and blah, blah, blah. And why? Because it's making you look fucking bad for not owning your fucking behavior or some shit. I don't know. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not being sorry for being me. No fucking way. Not doing that anymore. So thank you, Tammy, for saying that, because that is what is shifting and coming back out. So for the past 18 months, I stopped sharing myself online and my full open heart because I did that and I got shut down for it. And it's so interesting, this experience in the past 2 months being off grid, they shut me down. No, not they. Shut me down. I got shot down. Fucking, that's exactly how it felt, right? Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just clearing energy. Okay, that's right. Oh my goodness. Being shot. That makes so much sense. So when we clear energy, empaths, healers, light workers, whatever label you want to call yourself, when we clear energy, burping is very normal. That's pretty amazing that for the past 18 months I shut myself down because I always used to share, and now I'm coming back stronger. And sharing. I can't wait to see what's coming. Amy, so good to see you live stream. Yes, I love you too. So good to see you. Kylie says, yes, our feminine energy is where it's at. Yes, we receive in the feminine. This was my message today. Yes, it's obviously it's been a collective shift, right? That we're shifting into healing the feminine now. So this makes total sense because I know some of my clients are on here, and I know we were just talking about this last night about like being in the masculine too much, and now I'm like, and this is the same thing for me. I'm like, I gotta shift into the feminine now. It's so interesting. I take this mask off, right? Stop coffee. And like, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know my freaking coffee journey, and I haven't been able to stop that. But this is like forcing me to do the full lifestyle change. Like, that's the gift out of me being off grid for two months, something like that. I think it was longer. I don't know, because in fairy realm, there's no time. There's no freaking time at all. Oh my God. Get lost out there. Trust me. Trust me, I did, but I'm back now. Took me a bit to come back, but I'm here now. Yes, Penny's here as well. Kylie says, our feminine energy is where it's at. Yes. So Pauline says, because they need healing and you are challenging them about the way they live their lives, and that is scary to some people, even in threatening for some to think about thinking differently. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Tamsin says, my God, though, I went back to sleep with my partner telling me you do have a dad, and later re-woke up, can't fully remember. I just know I've been off lately and been real busy. I fully resonate with the healing the feminine and coming into the balance of them. Yeah, feels like the balance. And I pulled cards for myself the other day and it was all about balance too. So interesting. So Tamsin says, later, hi, is it Khalil? So later I rewoke and slightly could remember I later dreamt about my mum. Weird that I don't have nothing to say, but that's all I know, consciously anyway. Fairies and mushrooms have been super strong for me too. I haven't caught a live for a long time. I haven't been live for a freaking long time, that's why. But woke up and seen you live and knew I had to watch, of course. I love it. I love you too, Amy. This is our normal crazy. Yes, it so is. It's so our normal. Hey Sherry, lovely to see you. I'm just waking up. Oh no, I said Sherry, not Siri, stop. So yes, thank you, always sharing it live. Thank you. Tamsin says, been getting the big, oh my God, just need to have online business, especially the last few days. Just move and homeschool my daughter and have an organic food lifestyle from our garden. Yes. Again, the house and online just flowing. Exactly right. And this is like, it's so interesting, the timing, that this is the first time I've ever offered Manifesting Magic, which is all the tech side of building an online business. This is exactly, I teach you exactly what I've done to build my online business to be in the space where I am right now, right? So yeah, and like I was going to charge $5.55 for it, and then I got the intuition to drop it to $2.22. So that'll never be that price again. This is the first time I'm running it. The next time I open the doors to Manifesting Magic, it will definitely not be $2.22. So if you're thinking about it or on the fence about it, I'd highly recommend you jump in. So pre-work is already in there. You can catch up on that. This is the mindset plus the tech side of things. This is like watch me work over the shoulder. So literally you're watching a video of me pressing the buttons, and you can be pressing your buttons at the same time, setting yours up as you watch me teach you how to do that, right? This is everything that I've learned and everything to get me where I am today, right? Including the mindset and energetic work that you need, because anyone can set up systems and tech stuff and anything like that. But to be successful online, to have a soulmate tribe following you online and keep coming back and support you and grow your following through pure soulmate, like all you guys here, you fully get it, right? We can talk about like this, the crazy is the normal for us. We sense things, we sense spirits, we know what to do with them, we're empaths, we feel other people's energies, we pick up past lives from people who walk down the street. Like that's normal for us, right? But people don't realize that that's a gift. And people just think, oh, they brush it off and, you know, all that sort of thing. Like, no, this is your gift, and this is how we fine tune it. And this is how we change the world, by us owning our gift, because then we can hold space for people who are not there yet. One person at a time, right? All right, smart lady with the crying till 7. Yes. Yeah, give yourself a time limit. It's always good, right? When you need to get stuff done. Because most of the time you end up not doing it for that length of time, but sometimes it can just be that it'll be exactly on that amount of time, right? And it's really helpful. So Danny says, you know, Hannah, I kept saying to my mum, where's Hannah? I hope she's okay. Doesn't lie soon, and there you are. Oh my God. That's so interesting, right? And that's what I mean. I'm like, I dropped the ball. I'm like, it's not happening again. Not happening. All right, Amy says, I wonder if it's been your grief I've been feeling all weekend as well. Probably. I told you that. I'm pretty sure I told you that. I love how raw and real you are. Oh, thank you. Queen, thank you. I love how real you are. Oh, thank you. Burp it out. Okay, that's because I was burping before. Clearing out, being shot, which makes total friggin' sense in the environment that I was in. So, the best medicine for mean people is killing them with kindness. It actually makes you feel awesome. You know what? That's what I don't know about killing them, but I was holding a lot of space for them. And yeah, that's something I haven't done before. All right, so let's do a few psychic readings now I've shared all that. Okay. Now, I'm nervous to do psychic readings because I don't usually like doing them when I can't get to everybody. But there's 20 people on the live stream currently, and I can't get to everybody as much as I want to. So if you give me a yes, please, I would like a reading, Hannah, I will intuitively scroll through and let the angels pick who to do psychic readings for. I can bring this up on my computer again. Fire's died down a bit now. It's not as like burning hot on my back. Won't stoke it up so much before I get on live stream next time. All right, which cards am I doing? I am using the Oracle Dragon Fey. Okay, Wendy McDonald. Now, even though I'm gonna read only for a few people because there's 20 people online, please listen to the messages because they're always potent for everybody. Glad to see you back, Hannah. Thanks, Shana. Appreciate that. All right. So this is for Wendy McDonald. Talking about killing them with kindness. This is, I don't know how to pronounce it. Chengguang. I know it's back to front for you guys. I didn't turn the camera around. This is be the light of heart. So we need to like release the grief before we can be light of heart. However, releasing grief is the light of heart. So for Wendy, it says be light of heart. And I wonder, and if you're like carrying a burden in your heart, it almost feels like there's like a big bag of stuff in there, or like a big like thing on the side that you're like carrying. It's not really yours. I thought they were holding like the justice scales, but it looks like he's holding like a bowl in his hand. And it just makes me wonder, like, are you carrying something that's just not, like, you don't need to carry it anymore or something? So I've been seeing dragons everywhere. Yes, of course, yeah, I'm sure. So this one, I'm just going to see what jumps out at me in the book here. So number 27. It just makes me, I know I've had a lot of grief, and there's a lot of people with grief and stuff on the live stream right now, but Wendy McDonald, are you still here? And I'm just wondering, like, because I'm feeling like I want to cry again, and I just wonder if I'm picking up your grief too. Oh, look, it says, drop the heavy nature of punishment, guilt, and beliefs that no longer serve you. You can enter heaven as you are, indeed light-hearted and a true healer. You are a powerful role model for others. You have experienced the joy of setting your sights high and the healing power of self-belief. So I'm curious if Wendy's still here. I don't want to read for people who are not here. I should have asked if she's still here. Because I just wonder if there's like not good enough coming up, like, you know, it's like be light of heart, and like, it's almost like putting on this brave front, but underneath there's all this stuff going on, like, and it's like this, and it's interesting because, like, if you see, I don't know if you can see it, so like the bowl in his hand, I know it's a bit blurry, he's holding like a bowl in his hand, and it's almost like, it's like, what are you carrying? Again, it no longer serves you. And I say this stuff and I feel like this is where I'm needing to get my confidence back up again, because I'm like, well, everyone could probably relate to this, Hannah, and why is that special, and blah blah blah. I just got all these voices in my head because of what I've just been through, and this is why. So drop the heavy nature of punishment and guilt and beliefs that no longer serve you. So when we're hearing these voices in our head, right, it could be like, oh, it was them, and it was them saying that, and I'm still carrying their energy, and blah, blah, blah. And do you know what the most powerful thing my mentor Lois taught me one time in one of her sessions is? She said, no, that's not, you know, because I was like, it's this person, and she's like, no, it's not. She said, it's you. It's you talking that harshly to yourself. And I was like, what? And it was like, you know, portrayed in my mind by someone else's voice, in a sense. Not someone else's voice, like it was a family member, right? Okay. It was just the 15th year anniversary of me losing my mum. Okay, cool. Because it's like this carrying this, and I keep doing this, it's on the right side, but so that's really big. And in this, like, so the beliefs and stuff, when it says like drop the heavy nature of punishment, guilt, and beliefs that no longer serves you, like with that, what that is, that's like, I wonder then, and it's so interesting what we've just been talking about, Wendy, and then you're saying about your mum. I also have broken ribs right now. Oh, is that why I'm getting, so I'm like, there's something here on you. What is that? Got broken ribs. Wow. Talk about grief hitting home, hitting reality. So I'm wondering if you really grieved when your mum passed away, because sometimes that grief can sit there for 15 years and just be there. And so I'm so curious what happened with your broken ribs, right? So I just really want to clear this up, because when it says drop the heavy nature of punishment, guilt, and beliefs that no longer serve you, it makes me wonder how much of those beliefs, you know, guilt, nature of punishment, you know, beating yourself up, all that sort of thing, is from you, is from your mum. Yeah, is from your mum, and carrying that down from your mum. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's from you, and not just your mum, like it's more of the feminine lineage, yeah? And as I just said, it's so interesting. It feels like we're all shifting into like healing the feminine, but healing the feminine, which makes total sense from my past experience. Like the patriarchal has collapsed, and so it's, you know, balanced with the feminine now, but now the feminine's healing from all this before the patriarchal came back to balance. You know what I mean? Like all the hurt and pain from that, it really feels like that. It's like, woof. So I would be looking at, Wendy, what you know, like just belief systems and, you know, structures. Physical ribs, bones are the structure of life, of our reality. So, you know, and you don't have to share, but, you know, whatever happened, oh, here you go. I just realized how much I didn't grieve back then. I've been working on my family line stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, because if we don't grieve, like I said, we can carry it for 15 years, like literally, and broken ribs can symbolize that grief snapping. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that, there's that much buried in there that it snaps the physical rib. Like, it's huge, right? Sometimes we can get pneumonia as well. So Sherry says, so sorry, been feeling that as well. Just past the 4-year anniversary of my mum's passing. Tomorrow will be the 3rd-year anniversary of my dog's passing. August will be 7th of my dad's. Yeah, lots of pain so close together. And this is really important, guys. If we don't let ourselves grieve, like that's why I did yesterday and bawled my eyes out crying, right? Like, because I know that that's the fastest way to, number one, let go of something, and also to not get sick and to be able to get on with things, right? If I let myself grieve, just like before I jumped on the live stream, right? So yeah, so I'd be looking at, Wendy, you know, and it's curious, like the thing that made your ribs break, right? So say it was an accident or something, that's that event. Looking at that structure of what created that, in a sense of like, I don't know, say for example, I don't know what happened, right? And I don't know how you'd even do that. It's a big deal, right? But say if you drop something on yourself, which I know is probably not what happened, but you know, like, were you doing too much? Were you, you know, like continuing to care for others when you needed to care for yourself? Like, what is the structures that needs to change in your reality? Like the routines or the way you take care of yourself or something, like what needs to change so that you know what I mean? Like it's that, but also the grief and, you know, and then obviously the feminine not giving to yourself, or, you know, as an example, right? So I'd be looking at all of that sort of thing. But yeah, if you can cry, and sometimes when it's that older grief, I mean, sometimes it can turn on like a tap when we give ourselves permission to let ourselves feel that level of grief, because, you know, like curling up on the floor, and like feeling like you can't take another breath, like, you know, that deep-seated grief where it's like you can't cry deep enough, or you can't breathe, right? Like that level of grief, like when you drop into that, trust it and know that you're safe and know that you're healing, like deep-seated grief about just not about so many things. I was carrying too much and fell on the stairs. Oh my gosh, there we go. Right? So really important to like look at all the scenarios and how the structure of your life enables you to do that. So releasing the belief systems and the nature of punishment. So, well, I need to do everything, or I'm not good enough. Punishment. Make sure I get love, heart, ribs, right? To receive, feminine, right? And then how much of that is a generational lineage, which is very common for women, you know, in this sort of thing. So it's exactly how I felt. Yeah. So I'd be looking at all of that. Allowing the grief to come out, know that you're safe, and then starting to just piece together all those factors so it doesn't happen again. Changing the structures of your reality and allowing your heart to have the freedom to have what it wants without tending to other people's needs and putting yourself last anymore. Because sometimes even burying the grief back then can be a thing, because we have to hold it together for the family, we have to hold it together for everyone, and we have to be the savior and the person who holds it together for everyone, and all of a sudden we can't hold it together anymore and we actually crack. Yeah? So Pauline says, I was going to say you love reading, Hannah, and live streaming. It's okay. Yeah, I do, don't I? My counselor said to me, it's awesome that you give yourself permission to do that. You needed time out, and yes, you don't need to feel bad about that. There are so many people that honor and adore you. Thank you. And even like the past 2 months, you know, I'm like, I dropped the ball and I wasn't working and blah, blah, blah. And I still was doing clients and all the stuff I needed to do, but just not to the capacity that I usually do. Now, the other piece of that is that there was, you know, when I was saying like it's like a recalibration point to like last year and like meeting all my goals and car and money and online success, and I'm like, oh, so what now? And it's like this big recalibration point. The other point was that I needed a break, like I needed a holiday sort of thing. And like, you know, being off grid, even though it was hard work out there, it was still a break type thing, you know. But anyway, yeah, so I'm back, and I feel like I'm back, and it's interesting too because the other piece of that is that I was building this online business to be able to have the freedom to travel wherever I wanted to. And I was just stuck in my holding patterns at home, in my comfort zone. And I didn't know how to do that, even though I created a business to do that. So it kind of forced me to do that. Thanks, lockdown. Makes so much sense. Yes, yes, yes. So Wendy says, phew, you have not lost your touch. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. All right. I'm going to flick back through the people who said yes. And I'll just make sure you're here before I actually read. So where are they here? Okay, Shana. Is Shana still here? Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. I was like, got all my cards, well, not all my card decks here, but I'm feeling called to use the dragons again. So I'm curious if Shana's still here. Yes, okay, awesome. So I'd already picked up a card and I didn't want to start reading until you actually said yes. Now, funnily enough, what we're talking about, and this card came up and it is boundaries. So you can see this dragon has a beautiful staff and there's all crystals on this end of this stick. And this is about boundaries. So Oroki is boundaries. Now, pretty kind of self-explanatory, right? And just kind of interesting with what we were just talking about. But for you specifically, Shana, let's have a look. And this is kind of interesting because, again, it's tapping into what I just was saying before. But so when I was just tuning into it for you, Shana, the amethyst is really standing out to me. And the amethyst is related to crown chakra. It's purple. Amethyst purple opens you to spiritual guidance, opens you to life, whatever. Lets the light into your body. If we've got a closed crown, we're depressed, we're suppressing our spirituality, we're suppressing our life purpose when we've got a closed crown and we're not letting the light in. So important, right? Now, the other piece to the crown and the amethyst and the boundaries and the messages I was getting is, I wonder, Shana, if you feel quite exhausted most of the time, if you feel like almost like you're burnt out a lot of the time, or if you, because there's a couple of things there, I'll wait to hear from you to answer that. But the other piece is that, like I was saying before in the last reading, the thoughts and like, you know, like our negative thoughts, but we can think it's somebody else's voice in our head, but we kind of blame them in a way, but ultimately it's ourself talking to ourselves like that negative self-talk. And I'm wondering if you kind of spiral down or you're quite harsh on yourself, because the boundaries that I'm getting for you is around watching your thoughts. Like, stop beating yourself up. Yeah. Stop feeling like you've done the wrong thing. Stop, I don't know, it's like this negative spiral, right? So Shana says, I've had huge pressure in my crown for weeks on and off. Yep, exhausted. Okay. Feels like I need to start the chakra journey soon. Anyway, it's another story. So, yep, exhausted. Okay. So the boundaries around the negativity and self-talk and all of that, right? The other piece there when you're saying, yes, exhausted. So when I said, when we open our crown chakra, the light can come into our body and spirit comes in and our body is flooded with light, right? And we're like, you know, and that's what happens with a spiritual awakening, right? So a spiritual awakening is when our crown chakra opens and the energy and light can finally come into our body. Now, if you're new to my page or you don't know, I teach the chakras coming down, right? I teach from the crown, third eye, ears, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and base. I teach this way, okay? Simply because society has been coming up. Oh yeah, and I teach with 8, that's the ear chakras, right? Society has been coming up. Let's reach up to spirit for so long that so many people are cut off, right? And they're living in their head and they're not grounded in their body, right? Like coming up to spirit, it's like, well, actually we need to be in reality. Like spirit's not up there. Spirit's not up there. Spirit is here. We are spirit, right? And we need to be grounded in our body to embody spirit. And if we're not grounded in our body, then who is in our body? Right? Now, when we've got a closed crown chakra, we might have like opened spiritually at one point, and then, you know, like we, you know, something might have happened and we close the crown, and so we're like this, and it's like no light can come in. It's very isolating, it's very depressive, right? And we're suppressed, right? The light's trying to come in, but we're not open to it. Okay, now the exhaustion feeling, Shana, can come from when we open our crown chakra and we're very connected to spirit and we're very highly intelligent and we're very like switched on, okay? But with that energy comes the negative thoughts are also amplified in a way, right? And so the boundaries, I feel, so strong for you to really catch, monitor, be aware of, whatever the words are, of your thoughts to really protect your headspace in a way, right? Your mindset, right? Mindset is everything. But that openness, okay, there's a thing of being too open, okay? And this is where the boundaries come in, because we can be very open and connected to spirit, but then we are also, I guess, like a sponge, but it's also that so much light is like streaming through and we're so connected to spirit, we're like streaming through, and it's like that's exhausting. That's exhausting when we don't have a boundary and container in our aura to be able to hold that capacity of light. And so it's just like bursting through us. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's draining and exhausting because there's just so much energy coming in through us all the time, right? And this is where boundaries come in for empaths, right? And you can even look at this as though like you're a sponge. And I really love using the analogy of us empaths being a sponge. And literally, you know how a sponge has got all the holes in it. So it's not like our aura has holes in it. But if you can imagine, well, some people's do, but if you can imagine that you are like a sponge, and so you just literally absorb everyone and everything's energy, right? And then you're carrying it around, and that's also heavy and exhausting, right? Let alone the fact that you're so connected to spirit because you love their spiritual stuff. You're open, you're connected, you hear your angels, blah, blah, blah. But it's like all the time. Okay, now I'm not saying shut down your crown chakra. I'm not saying that, but this is where we learn boundaries in how we connect with people, how we connect with spirit, how we are maintaining our energy, how we are able to, be with people, be with spirit, but also, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Are we taking care of our spiritual faculties by meditating on a daily, consistent basis to be able to allow yourself to be able to hold that capacity, right? Because we can be open to spirit and we can like receive all of that and streaming through us and stuff. But if we're not fine tuning our gifts and our, and taking care of our spiritual, like our aura through meditating and connecting to spirit, right? Now you might be like, but Hannah, you just said I was too open and too connected, basically. And it's like, well, ultimately what that is, when we can meditate consciously every day, right, for a period of 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour, like commit to something on a consistent basis, what you're doing is creating a conscious connection and a conscious container rather than just being connected and so connected and it's just like, so much all the time, right? So I'd really be looking at setting some boundaries. Now, this might obviously play off into your physical life around setting boundaries around whether it's bedtimes or people in your life or something like that to also then help support, because our physical health and our physical body needs that. This is the container, right, that holds our soul, and this also needs to be at that level of capacity to be able to hold the next level of light. Now, it's so interesting with the whole experience and everything I've shared on this live stream is that when, this whole experience I know was about me embodying the light. It was not even embodying it. I don't know, it was something mastering the light or something. I don't know, like I knew that, right? And it was so interesting because I was going to release a course like months ago about it, but then all this happened and I was like, what is this about? And it's like this whole thing around now starting the 21-day detox and fast and then moving into this lifestyle. I'm like, the body and the container needed to catch up, right? So when we look at boundaries, there's so many containers, and it's so interesting. On Wendy's reading, we're looking at the bowl, right, that the man was holding, And it's like, where are your containers? Where are your boundaries, right? With your spiritual health, with your emotional health, with your mental health, with your physical health. Like, where are your boundaries, right? So really tuning in, because that crown chakra is like, but the big boundary thing is like so strong for you, Shana, around being able to catch those thoughts. So how do we do that? Meditating is really awesome. But a lot of people can't meditate because they're like, don't stop thinking. And I'm like, well, meditating is not about stopping your thoughts. The most powerful thing for me has always been, like, I couldn't meditate in the start either, right? And the thing that taught me how to meditate was yoga, really strong Ashtanga practice, yeah? And because my body had to move with my mind, and that taught me how to meditate without yoga, yeah? So I wasn't able to meditate before that either. So there's lots of different ways you can do that, and obviously mindset work as well, so journaling, positive affirmations, but meditating is a real strong way to make a conscious connection, and then you're more conscious of your energy and fine-tuning your gifts to be able to have those boundaries too. All right, okay, I'm going to do one more person, and I'm going to do a lot more, I'm going to do a lot more psychic readings, because not only was I coming on to remember my gift and remember who I am, I have been getting the message to do regular psychic readings again. So please know that I'll be coming live a lot more frequently to do psychic readings like this, because I used to do it all the time. So I see your message, your comment, Elaine. So Pauline says, hey Hannah, when I said killing them kindness doesn't mean literally, I know, I know, yeah. Killing the mean part of themselves with kindness. Yeah, it's a bit like that thing, like, what is it? Like, put your demons at my feet and I'll love them till they weep, or something. That thing I shared a while ago. So Shana says, definitely need to refine my boundaries. Thank you so much. Everything you've said has resonated so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, let me have a scroll through all these yeses. Let's see. All right, and I'm feeling called to read Elaine. Is she still here? I know she jumped back on. All right, and I'll just wait for that confirmation that she's still here. Okay, awesome. So I'm being called to use the fairies. This one, the magical messages from the fairies for you. Oh, there's two Elaines here. For both of you. I thought, I see. Did you would have commented before, right, Elaine? There is two Elaines. All right, this is for both of you. This is a double reading. You'll be like, what? They're lining up. Okay. This is for both of you. Now, Dawn's walking past. I think it's Dawn. Hey, is that Dawn? So Dawn just walked past. So I'm reading you both at the same time, because this is what I do. So the cat, self-love, rhodochrosite. So in the liquid crystals, the crystal rhodochrosite is connected to the animal totem of cat. A cat is self-love. And self-love is so interesting as far as like these readings that I'm about to give will be for everyone, right? So the first card was about what do we need to release, old belief systems. The second person, oh my goodness, my brain, I've been talking for too long. The second person was about boundaries. The cat, self-love, yeah. The self-love, I'm learning self-love and I will be teaching it. There you go. I love that so much. So confirmation, but also with the boundaries that, and I saw someone post a little while ago, like boundaries, I mean, someone says, people think that self-love is all like loving yourself and I love you and all this stuff, when self-love is also boundaries and saying no and taking care of yourself with strong boundaries, because without strong boundaries you can't take care of yourself, and so you have no self-love. How interesting, right? Oh my goodness. It's kind of interesting, just going to put in a little side note here, that before I left for this road trip back in February, I had ordered the liquid crystal from Jade's rhodochrosite, and it had never called me before. It was the first time I'd ever felt called to take it. And she sent it to me, and within the time that she sent it, I ended up getting in the car and leaving again. So I didn't actually get it, but she actually gave me the rhodochrosite skull, which is, I don't know, more powerful something. I don't know, I'm not a practitioner. I just get her to make it for me. Now, when I got to Lucas's house, his life purpose crystal is rhodochrosite. And I was like, oh, how freaking interesting, right? And Jade actually pointed it out to me. Now, when I got to Lucas's place, he had a massive, big, like, lapis lazuli skull, like, and I'm lapis lazuli, right? Now, obviously there's some reason and I'm sharing that, and I feel like for you, Elaine Glenn, when you say I'm learning self-love and we'll be teaching it, it feels like there's something with the crystals there for you about it. Now, I'm not saying you have to learn liquid crystals or take them or anything like that, but, and it might not even be the liquid crystals, it might just be normal crystals that you're being called to use. And maybe you already use the liquid crystals as well in that. So Elaine says, yes, I allowed my boundaries to be crushed by someone I loved, and now they've broken my heart. Yes, I'm keeping an open heart. Okay, awesome. Okay, you collect crystal skulls. Okay, there was a reason I was talking about it. I was like, no, there's the reason I have to say this. So whether the skulls and the crystals or something are like to do with the self-love, I don't know how you're going to teach it or something. I don't know if you're going to hold workshops or online stuff or whatever, but that I feel like there's something in that. So whether you're receiving the information from the crystal skulls or whether it's, I don't know, I would explore that, right? Because so both Elaine's, you've got the power card has come up, right? So use your abilities to resolve this situation. You can do it. Now, it feels like, so I think it was Elaine, the other one. So Elaine Muse, are you still here? I don't know if I pronounced that right. Elaine Muse? So self-love, boundaries, yes. And you've got the power. So and it's so interesting, the bottom card of the deck is assertiveness, right? Which is all about boundaries. This is solar plexus, self-worth, self-esteem, self-love. This is where our boundaries stem from, right? In our solar plexus. And this is and it's yellow, like the sun's yellow on the card. Assertiveness, stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. Now, I feel like this is a fine tuning. So for Elaine Muse, yeah, of, like, I say redefining yourself, but it feels like redefining your boundaries, that you've got the power. I feel like Elaine Muse, I'm not sure what's been going on for you, but it feels like you've been in quite a good place and to an extent, and it just feels like you've like almost mastered this in a way, right? But I feel like there's something that's been pulling at your energy, right? And this like assertiveness boundary has needed to be like strengthened, and it's almost like you like went in and you're like, nah, but you were here most of the time, and it just feels like you've been quite, I don't know, stable or balanced or whatever is the right words, right? Good night, Christina. I'm getting to your messages, trust me. So when you know, like I feel like you've been pretty good, but it's like, and it's so interesting because she's like walking on a spider web, like a tightrope spider web type thing. And it feels like you've been pretty good, but it's like, but something's been pulling at your energy, and I'm getting the message, like maybe, I don't like saying to people cut the cords and stuff like that because, yeah, like I don't recommend just cutting cords because there's a reason that it's there. So you'd be like cutting cords, but then you do the shadow work and stuff afterwards so it doesn't reattach, because otherwise it would. But I just wonder if there's some sort of deeper work you can be doing. There's something there that's kind of pulling at your energy, and so I'd just be looking at that for you as well. So yeah, so, and for both the Elaines, like together, you've got the power. It's like this, I say balancing act, but it's more about like, this is strengthening, yeah, like that thread of your self-worth, of your self-esteem, of all of that is strengthening, like out of all of this. And that's what you said, Elaine Glenn, that, you know, you're broken-hearted and stuff as well, and I so you know that feeling. It's obviously coming out stronger and all of that, but it just feels like those threads are like the self, self-worth threads and the self-love and all of the boundary threads, like they used to be like this, like thick sort of thing, and now they're like just strengthening. And like what I see them as, you know, obviously like the spider web, but the spider web in a crystalline, like the crystal, or maybe that's where the crystals are coming from as well. Like the crystalline threads are like really strong now, right? So that makes a lot of sense. So that's for both Elaines. All right, I'm done now, guys. So thanks for letting me read you, and for listening, and for joining me live, even though I was bawling my eyes out crying before I got on live stream. And also, like I said, I will be back on more regular than I have been to do psychic readings, because that was the message I kept getting. It wasn't just about me being selfish and wanting to just make sure I still got my gift, because, you know, like those words in my head start to wear me down a little bit. So yeah, you're so welcome, guys. But yeah, I will be back on more so than not, because I dropped the ball and not dropping that again. And I've got a whole new lifestyle change coming up, and I would look forward to connecting with you guys again soon. So thank you for joining. And like I said, Manifesting Magic, if you really want to build your online business, you can still jump in this week and even next week if you really need to. There's pre-work in there already, and this is everything that I have learnt and built my business to online. It's the first time I've ever taught anything like this in my business online, to help you light workers and ancient blooded healers and all you gifted souls out there to be able to share your message, your heart and soul with the world, because we need you. We need you to step up, and you wouldn't be here or following me or resonating with reality awareness in any way, shape or form if it wasn't your time to shine. So yeah, I love you guys heaps. Link is in the comments. If you think this live stream can help somebody, please tag them below in the comments, or you can share it in a private message with them, or you can share it on your page. So if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Love you guys heaps. Love you guys heaps. Yes. Yes. Going to consult my angels and chat about it. Yes, if it's a thought in your mind, you've already been drawn and called to there. But yeah, trust yourself, of course. Love you guys.